Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. I just about said it's Fitness Athlete Friday because I'm so used to being on here on Fridays, but instead it is Leadership Thursday, and for once I'm with you on Thursday. And today we're going to be talking about tips to improve your clinic's social media presence. Before we do that, a couple important notes. First of all, it's Thursday, meaning Gut Check Thursday, and Alan has put together a really good workout for you that you need to try out and use hashtag IceTrained, hashtag GutCheckThursday, and tag Ice Physio for your chance to get a t-shirt from Ice. So this week's workout, 4 rounds for time. We have a 400-meter run to start each round, and then 10 alternating dumbbell thrusters. What is a thruster? I didn't know this myself, so I learned a new move this week. A thruster is a dumbbell snatch. So the bar starts, or the dumbbell starts on the ground. We take it all the way overhead in one rapid movement into a thruster. So after the dumbbell's overhead, we take it to our shoulder. We do a squat. On the way up from the squat, we also press that dumbbell all the way back overhead. We then keep it overhead and do a lunge, switch arms each rep. So 4 rounds of that. This should take you 10 to 15 minutes. You really want to push the intensity on the run there and then hang on as long as you can with those thrusters. So check that workout out. New course just announced, and that is temporomandibular management. So one great area to develop a unique skill set to market yourself to local physicians and the public is in the management of jaw pain. Not enough people have an expertise in that. Jordan Berry and Zach Morgan have put together a great online course worth 6 CEUs for you. This is something that we talk about a lot in our cervical management course, but it's a little too detailed to take a half day out of the cervical course to discuss this. And we always have people wanting more information on managing TMJ issues. I've gotten to look at the back end of this course. It is excellent. So check that out at ptonice.com. We also have a couple of online courses starting up soon. We have the Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum, Older Adults Advanced Concepts, and Telehealth. Jeff also just put an announcement up the other day on our Facebook page announcing that we will be starting back our live courses in June. So if you're looking to get out of the house, if you've been stuck in the house for too long, go check out where our live courses are going to be and spend the weekend having fun and getting back with the community a little bit. All right, so let's dive into the meat of today, discussing improving your clinic's social media strategy. And there's a couple reasons why we have to do that these days. And I know a lot of people listening aren't really social media people, like you don't enjoy going on and posting. Maybe you get on and read other people's stuff, but it's not your norm to actually post yourself. And I really think that as a profession, we have to embrace this a little bit more. Because think about what happens anytime you're looking at going to a new restaurant or a new business. You're going to Google that restaurant. You're going to check out Google reviews. You're going to maybe check out Yelp. And then you're going to jump on their Facebook or Instagram page and take a look at that business. So from the bare minimum, we need to have a social media presence so that when people search for us, they can get additional information about us. It is absolutely normal for people to search your social media now when they're trying to learn a little bit about your business. And if you don't have a presence there, you are going to lose out on business. So bare minimum, you have to have started a little bit. Going deeper into that, social media is an incredibly great way to build brand awareness, just to get people to know about you. If we think about how we typically go about getting people to know about us in our clinic, it's usually going to be doing live workshops. We go and set up a table at a 5K. We go to a physician's office and market. Those things take quite a bit of time. And at times it can be difficult to get into that physician's office or you're asking your employees or yourself to give up your Saturday morning to go to that local 5K. With social media, we can at any time from anywhere work on building our brand awareness in our area, especially if we're taking advantage of some of the easy ways there are to run Facebook ads specifically to our target audience. So we want to use it to build brand awareness. And third, it is actually a really great way to get people in the door when you go about building trust with these individuals over long term. Sorry, I'm testing one thing on my phone. All right. So how do we go about improving our social media presence so that we can go about building brand awareness, so that we can start building or getting people into the clinic? The first thing, and the thing that I far too often see people or physical therapists mess up when it comes to social media, is they don't actually take the time to think about who they're marketing to with their social media. And so in the marketing world, they'll talk about developing your avatar. That's where you spend a significant amount of time thinking about who you're marketing to. They'll tell you to go about naming this individual, this fake person, your avatar. What's their age, what's their sex, what's their income, their education, their hobbies, interests, activities, family life, so that every time you put out a piece of content, you can put out content as if you're speaking to that individual. And that's going to help make it significantly more relevant to them, and it's going to get them to build trust with you even faster. So what we very commonly see physical therapists do is they go in and they share things like research studies on their social media page. And if you have a social media page whose avatar is other physical therapists or medical providers, then that might be a valuable piece of content to put out there. But if your social media page is going after the local runner, the local CrossFitter, whoever it is, that doesn't speak to them. And so we want to make sure that as we're doing this sort of stuff, we're putting out content that is relevant to them, that's things that they want to see, using the language that they use. The second reason why we want to develop that avatar is we want to make sure when people show up to our page that they are going to connect with our page. So for instance, if you're trying to use social media to market to your avatar of a local weightlifter, and that's the person that you want to start getting into the door, we need to make sure your social media presence reflects that. So while I'm all for Doris, getting on the leg press and getting her legs a little stronger, I'd rather her squatting and deadlifting. That's another talk for another day. While I want Doris to be getting stronger in my clinic, having a lot of pictures and videos of Doris, who's 65 years old, out of shape, is not going to be the best material to market to our 25-year-old weightlifter. And we want our social media presence to reflect that, who we're trying to market to on social media. And that's where developing your avatar just becomes really important, because it will always keep you on track. If every post you put out there, you're thinking of marketing to gymming your avatar, it will keep you on track there with the message that you're putting out. Once you kind of have that developed, then it becomes really about being consistent. And consistent can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. So for me, consistency is posting every single day, whether in my feed or my story. That does not have to be what you do though. Consistency just means picking out what's the amount you can put out online and sticking to it. I would say the minimum there should be probably 3 times a week that you're putting out a new post. But I think more than that is probably a little bit better in different forms, but you have got to be consistent. And that's honestly where things get really, really difficult. And so if you go back a couple weeks, I did a PT on Ice podcast where I talked about different apps that we use or that I use to help with my social media platforms. And there are a number of good scheduling softwares out there. The one I use is called Later. I use another one called Meet Edgar that's significantly more expensive. But those will make it significantly easier for you to stay consistent in your publishing of content on social media. Now, to also help with being consistent, I really want to encourage you to look at batching your work or assigning a person every single day to posting on social media. So I typically batch because almost all the posts I put out on my social media are just of myself when we're talking about the Barbell Physio social media. And so I typically will go to the gym maybe once a month and I'll film for 2 hours straight. I have a whole list of things that I need to film for the upcoming month. And that allows me to really quickly get through a lot of work and get everything prepped and ready to go for my next few weeks of social media. In the past, what we've done at Onward is we assign a person each day. So myself and Jordan would kind of alternate days between whose day it is to post on social media so that neither one of us is getting overwhelmed there. But that's a really couple good tactics to stay consistent in your social media presence there. Now, when we're talking about, am I on Onward here? When we're talking about developing trust online, like that's our big thing when we're talking about helping people get to know us better. when we're trying to get people to get to know us better, we need to develop trust. And that's a difficult thing to do virtually because so many people are pitched to nonstop on social media. So we really want to take like Gary Vaynerchuk's his approach to social media, which he calls jab, jab, punch. So we want to continually provide value to the people that we're marketing to online, and then every now and then market to them. And we see this kind of go one of two ways far too often, where sometimes individuals are scared to ever pitch or promote the services that they have. They're scared to ever ask people to actually come into the clinic or to come see them. Or we see it the opposite direction, where every single post, every single piece of content that somebody puts out there is about specifically getting people in the door, and they never provide value. They're just asking from people. And so you have to find the balance there. Typically, we want to give more value than we ask for, and ultimately that's going to help us build trust with individuals. Another tactic that works really well for building trust with individuals is to not have all of your content be clinically oriented. Show off your personality a little bit. Show, a video of you going to the local gym. Show a video of you going out for a run. Show pictures of you and your family. Things like that help people emotionally connect with you a little bit more. And so don't always feel like everything has to be about the clinic or about improving movement. I mentioned one thing there, and that's, like when you go to the gym, shoot a video of yourself. I would really encourage you to continually be tagging those locations. If you go into your CrossFit gym, make sure you tag your gym. When you show a picture of the whiteboard workout, tag the gym, because that's an easy way for other businesses or other individuals or influencers to really quickly repost in your story what you put out there for them. And that's a great way for you to build brand awareness with people from that business. So make sure you're thinking about little details like that. Now, when it comes to getting kind of started with all of this stuff, I think a lot of people get stuck on the idea that things have to be perfect, that they have to have really good equipment. They have to have a fancy camera. They have to have the best audio equipment. They have to have, this $300 piece of software to edit their videos, and they have to spend 30 minutes editing each video. It really doesn't have to be like that. You're much better off getting started and being consistent with a sub-perfect product. Even now that I've kind of developed a really large social media presence, I don't put everything out perfect. I don't edit every video perfectly. I don't demand that every video look perfect when I post it up, but I'm staying consistent. There are a couple things that will really help improve your quality, even without having, really fancy equipment, without going out and buying a really nice camera or something like that. So most of us have an iPhone or an Android phone. We have incredibly good cameras on those these days. So it's actually really easy for us to get fairly good quality videos. But a couple things you can do with your videos. Number one is going to be pay attention to your lighting. Lighting is going to make a huge impact on how good the quality of your video is. So for instance, I'm filming this and I have a window right in front of me where I'm filming so that I have light coming on my face versus having light coming at me from behind. So if I'm sitting here with light behind me, that would darken my face up. It would make the video quality a little less good. So just pay attention to and play around within your clinic, shooting from different positions, different angles, different locations, different times of day, and try to find when the lighting gets optimal for you there. The second thing is make sure your audio quality is good. So it doesn't have to be perfect where you're going and, setting a lavalier mic up like I have here and syncing that video up to the audio. There's some really simple ways to get significantly better audio. For Instagram Live, I've got my AirPods in right now. So you can wear AirPods as you're doing your videos. That way you're getting good quality audio coming in from the AirPods. You could buy a really easy fix as a little mini boom mic, which you can find on Amazon for like 30 to 50 bucks. And those do a great job of grabbing better quality audio. There's a lot of really simple solutions for audio, but that will make a huge difference if you're not getting kind of like that buzzing, annoying background noise that happens quite often in videos. And even with our cell phones, those audio quality is not typically that great. So upgrading that is one thing and one small piece of equipment that I think is really valuable. The final thing that I think you have to do, and I'm really shocked that I see this happen as often as I do, but I see a lot of clinics that don't trim their videos. That you'll see somebody hit film, they'll walk back, they'll start doing an exercise or technique or talking, and then they'll walk back to the camera and stop it. And that's what they post. It's going to look significantly more professional if you take the time to trim that front and back end up. That little bit of effort goes a long ways towards making people think that you care a little bit more about the process of doing what you do. I think if somebody's watching a video and you don't take the time to trim, I think they're going to think that you're a little sloppy in your social media presence. And I think that's also going to make them think that you're going to be a little bit sloppy in your assessment of them and your carrying out of the treatment plan with them. So clean it up a little bit, trim it up. And one final note on that with trimming, if you're doing a video where you're talking to the camera and you're demonstrating an exercise, you're typically going to be significantly better off if you start with the video of you doing the exercise rather than talking. So most of the time, if you're scrolling through your Instagram feed or your Facebook feed, you don't typically stop when you see somebody just talking to a camera. You are more likely to stop when you see somebody doing an interesting exercise. That's going to grab people's attention more often. So I typically recommend starting with the exercise. So maybe do a rep or two, then explain why you're doing it, then go back to the exercise and kind of retweak talking through the points of performance that you want to see with that movement. So hope these things help you out with improving your clinic's social media page, and have a great day.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.